Thank you, Ron.
All right, and can everybody see the screen? Jason, be good on the screen?
You're good, Joe.
Awesome. So first and foremost, thanks for inviting us in, and thanks for the forum, everybody. Thanks for joining. Really appreciate it. Hopefully, we're going to keep this really high level and just kind of go over how we here at Haiku kind of view data protection, modern data protection, and flexibility, disaster recovery, and all that fun stuff. I am a senior account executive covering U.S. SLED for us here at Haiku. I'm based out of Chicago. We have my colleague Jason DeLessio on as a senior solutions architect, my technical resource based out of Tampa, Florida. And if anybody has a question, please dump it in the chat, get a hold of us after the fact. More than happy to help. So with that, I will, there we go. So Haiku as an organization, it's actually an acronym. It stands for Hybrid Cloud Uptime. We are backed by some of the leading venture capitalist firms out there, and we've been around for a bit. What we're seeing these days out there in the marketplace is just IT environments are becoming more complex than ever. As a whole, and we're going to get to this in a slide or two here when we touch on SaaS applications, but just to kind of paint the picture, Haiku, us as an org, when we were kind of looking at all this, just seeing where the trends were going, how environments were becoming more complex, and then just sprinkling in SaaS over the top of that, we here at Haiku, we took a look at ourselves and what we were using, and we saw there was just a ton of technologies out there. So super complex, and because of all this, it's getting more and more difficult to manage from a data protection, data resiliency standpoint as a whole. Just a quick slide in here. These are some of the current customers leveraging Haiku in public sector today. Top row, you'll notice we are in every branch of the U.S. military. Nutanix, they're certainly an alliance partner of ours, but they're also using us in their corporate data center and several school districts and Office of Emergency Services across the board. So Haiku, we have purpose-built solutions, and I know that could be misconstrued, but basically Haiku, we have purpose-built data protection solutions. So kind of how we're really differentiated versus our competitors, every one of our solutions are built from the ground up for that environment. So for instance, my AWS solution is going to look very similar to my Google solution, which also looks very similar to our on-prem stuff. But important to note, every one of them is built from the ground up for that specific environment, and everything is zero agents to manage or maintain, and we can do some pretty cool stuff there. So what we're really helping organizations do is really visualize, see where all their data silos are, where all those SaaS applications are, where their pertinent mission critical data is sitting in those environments. And what we're really doing is breaking down the barriers with regards to ease of management, as well as ensuring everything's protected and resilient and mobile in all actuality. So, and just to kind of go through this deck here, these are the current environments that we can certainly support today. So we have a truly elastic, truly cloud native offering in AWS's marketplace, Azure. For the SLED customers operating in the Gov Cloud, we also have a Gov Cloud solution as well. VMware on-prem, Nutanix on-prem, Dell Isilons, Office 365, Google Workspace, you name it. The beauty of all this is, and again, just to keep in mind, I mentioned that it is all agent-free. It's also application consistent. So out of the box, we have some patented auto application discovery tools where we can actually ensure application consistency. If you guys have anything you guys kind of built out in-house that we don't natively support out of the box, we can still open up the pre and the post scripting. So you still get that granular backup experience. But I mentioned earlier, Haiku, modern data protection. And what we mean when we say that is, because we have the purpose-built offerings in all these clouds, as well as on-prem, we can go direct to cloud. We can go direct to AWS or Azure with the backup copy. But now, because we have the purpose-built offerings in their clouds, we can actually do the hypervisor conversion in the background. So as you guys are looking to modernize your applications, or maybe start using or looking at the cloud for a compute-free DR, where you're quite literally only paying for cloud storage until there is a DR scenario and you have to spin up a virtual machine from the backup copy you already have parked up there in immutable storage. It is quite literally a set it and forget it type solution. Jason, I want to lean on you really quick. Anything to call out on the slide or anything I kind of glanced over?
No, I think just very high level is, no matter what you have in your data center, no matter where your data resides, If it's across any of the three public cloud or hyperscalers or on-prem, HiQ has a solution for you. We've recently announced our cloud, which there will be a slide or two presented for you, which we can kind of get a little deeper for SaaS-based solutions, Office 365, and then a ton others. So we can talk a little bit more about that in the next coming slides.
Very good. And then, yep, just to kind of reiterate, HiQ Protege again, it's a SaaS-based, it's simple to use. We've adopted the nomenclature of the environments in which we're protecting. Can't harp on this enough, guys. It's purpose-built, so very little to manage or maintain on the day-to-day. It's application-focused, agentless, and then we're target agnostic. And we're firm believers on this end of the call that is one of the beauties of HiQ in all actuality. So you can repurpose anything on-prem. You can go direct to cloud on anything. We don't need a tertiary landing zone. You will always be able to recover your data. Obviously, we hope you never leave HiQ, but if you were to ever leave HiQ, you'll still always be able to recover all of your historical backup data. And then Net Promoter Score, we've been in the 90s and for a number of years here. But this was our big announcement earlier this year, as I'm sure everyone's kind of staying abreast to just the entire landscape. A number of state, local customers have been hit by ransomware this year. They were taken down. I think a West Coast city was down for like 2 months. And they got backdoored by ransomware through SaaS applications. So historically, SaaS is not something that's typically always viewed as or protected. Sorry for fumbling there a little bit. And I think there's only like 4 or 5 truly enterprise level backup offerings out there that the SaaS apps are offering. And because of that, we saw that as a huge gaping hole. So we actually came to market earlier this year with our cloud initiative, and basically it's a developers kind of model where we're going to have, I think we have 10 or 15 right now, but we will have towards the end of the year around 100 SaaS applications, and anything across the board we can get developed super quick, 100% native to that SaaS. So just with regards to the evolution of IT and applications, several years ago, everything was essentially 3-tier on-prem. And today, this is certainly moving towards a more consumption-driven model where everything's essentially as a service.
Yeah, and just to reiterate on that, Joe, is, when you look at SaaS, I mean, the 5 years ago, SaaS, there were very few players in the game. Now you look at SaaS, there's integrated SaaS solutions that integrate with each other. So, EMR, police and fire applications, courthouses, HR applications. I mean, there's tons of data out there that's accessible for ransomware to attack. And once they capture that data, these SaaS applications tell you straight out the gate, you must protect your own data or back it up. And there's really no other backup vendors that really support the broad spectrum of all of these different applications or SaaSes that are available. HiQ has done this with the launch of our cloud. We've created the platform that allows these SaaS applications or vendors or support partners to develop these tool sets to back up all of these various SaaS tool sets. So our cloud is simply, again, the platform. Today, we've announced 10 SaaS solutions between Salesforce, Atlassian, Confluence, Jira. And by the end of the year, we're targeting close to 100. And then it's just going to massively scale from there. So not only on-prem data, cloud-focused data, but 100% SaaS-based solution. HiQ is a single pane of glass to manage all of those assets.
Good. Just a couple of key takeaways before we kind of get into the nuts and bolts of it. HiQ, purpose-built for the environments in which we're protecting, can certainly leverage any storage, whether it be on-prem or direct to cloud with no tertiary landing zone. And yeah, we can certainly map your environment with regards to, I mean, we know organizations and entities, cities really don't, C-level typically doesn't understand how many SaaS applications are being used in-house today. We have a really nice, clean tool where we can actually map that and show you where all your data silos are and unprotected today. Thanks.
All right, so I'll basically give you a brief demo of the tool set. So this is the on-prem SaaS, or I should say the on-prem deployment model. This is our manager of managers. So what's really unique about HiQ is the ability to back up data pretty much anywhere where it resides today. So you can see a single pane of glass. I have a visibility of all my applications, whether I'm running Office 365, how my mailbox data is protected, how my my file shares are being protected. As I drill down, I can see if I have multiple sites being deployed where I'm managing multiple locations globally, or if I have hybrid type deployments where I have something in the cloud, something on-prem, whether I have Office 365 or Google Workspace. All of these different areas where data may reside or applications may be running, HiQ is very unique and, again, purpose-built for each of these solutions so that we can give you application awareness across the globe, right? Full virtual machine, file, folder, disk level, VM level recovery with basically essentially 2 clicks of a button where I click the VM, I click the restore point, and then I'm ready to do the restore, right? Very simple and easy to navigate. It's a simple, intuitive product, as well as, consolidated event notification from a single pane of glass. So as I drill in here and I want to look at perhaps another environment here that's a little localized, obviously we support, multi-factor authentication, various identity providers, whether it's Active Directory in Microsoft Azure or on-prem, Okta as well. But let's say, just to give you a brief demo of what it's like, HiQ can be deployed within 5 minutes. For any of the cloud or SaaS-based solutions, 100% SaaS. So there's really no management that you have to do. Upgrades for the on-prem is super simple. But the beautiful part here is, ransomware protection and how do we protect our, SLED government type entities. What it is we're basically protecting the VM and applications in an app consistent manner. We're taking that data and we're writing it to an immutable storage target. The immutable storage target for us, we feel is, we write to pretty much any target, but cloud is of choice. S3 protocol is where we really want to focus on our efforts. With S3 protocol, we allow worm lock, which is a write once, read many tool set. So when we look and define a target, this could be a localized S3 target that could be provisioned from Nutanix objects, Dell ECS. Exagrid also offers an immutable target. Cloudian, any of the 3 hyperscalers offer immutable cloud locks on top of their S3 storage. But even if you did have a NetApp or a data domain, we can leverage the retention lock or immutability on those filers, on those types of shares that are presented to us. So there's multiple ways we can perform immutability, and that's a term that's really being thrown around a lot, especially in ransomware. The biggest concern for these state and local governments, is these cities are being compromised. The entire city is being crippled because perhaps a tax system or a property management system has been compromised and they now can't collect the proper taxes. Or if it's the Department of Motor Vehicles or tax collector, where now they can't provision licenses and get taxable income off of car registrations and things like that. Police stations are being targeted for their criminal history databases and things like that. There's just so many attack vectors, and the more SaaS solutions that are external to the customer's environment or your environments are allowing these predators to attack even further in a SaaS-based world where the only real protection is a username and password, right? And that's where it's really critical for users that are unaware of phishing attempts and how these ransomware attacks occur, that it's just very simple for an attacker to spoof an email or spoof a text message that says, we've detected an anomaly or a rogue login. Please enter your credentials here and confirm that it was you. And poof, you just handed over your credentials to somebody and now they're in. So these are things that we provide. The ability to back this data up at whatever frequency you wish, daily, monthly, weekly, hourly, write this data to a secure platform, which is an immutable storage target that can be leveraged on-prem and or in the cloud, but have the ability to instantly restore externally to your data center into a cloud where you can actually recover in 15 minutes or less for whatever reason, if there's an anomaly or if just general disaster recovery testing, or even the fact that if you want to do a full-blown DR event in the event of a catastrophic ransomware attack, all of your data will be safe with an immutable data copy. The infrastructure that HiQ is residing on, this tool set that I'm using, is absolutely irrelevant to the actual recovery efforts. This HiQ controller or this on-prem install can be completely void and deleted or compromised. All we need is the target data, and we simply import the target data, and we will reconstitute our actual controller and be able to provide instantaneous recovery to all of your assets, your VM, your file shares, your data. And that's really, truly different than all of the other products out there. A lot of products are leveraging their technology to run in the cloud in addition to what you already have on-prem, therefore costing you additional cost, maintenance. You have to pre-allocate storage and resources, and it doesn't provide elasticity and scalability. The fact that we can integrate directly with any cloud-based partner at the API level and provide instantaneous recovery into any cloud is really a defining moment for us. We have several customers. I'm local in Florida. We had a city compromised during the hurricane. They were able to simply restore everything into Google, right? So the hurricane came in, destroyed the data center. They had a copy of that data in Google Cloud. They were able to simply just spin up the VMs from Google, redirect their firewalls and their load balancers, and they were up and running within an hour, right? So truly a defining moment for Haiku to prove that what we're talking about actually works. And it is a simple solution that's very elegantly packaged, but simple to use overall. And this is just one of the features to demonstrate right here. If I were to just have a VM, for instance, I want to click on this VM, I can see these restore points. I simply pick one. I can do file level recovery, VM recovery, cloning, and I also have the spin up to the cloud. Simply enough, I can talk to whichever cloud I specifically want to spin up in. For demo's sake, we have every cloud in our environment. Most customers only have one of choice. But at this point, I'm talking to the service principal directly. Now I know what subscription or subscriptions I have available to me and which resource groups are inside of this particular subscription. From my resource group, I then have whichever locations that are available to me, And then from there, if there's an availability zone or not that I specifically want to use, I can then choose that. By simply selecting next, I'm ready to spin the VM up. It's basically going to allow me to reconfigure the VM size, re-network it if I need to, and spin it up directly in that cloud stack in 15 minutes or less. It's really a simple tool, easy to leverage, but as well as full compliancy, full reporting, the ability to have predictable restore times shown to you, the ability to see what your VM status looks like on a day-to-day basis. And it's very simple to leverage the fact that this tool allows you all of these different elements to manage your environment, as well as self-service or micro-segmentation if you're internal customers to your existing tool set, right? If, hey, I'm the backup admin, but I have these DevOps teams that consistently ping me and annoy me every day for backups and restores, you can assign them as their own owner of that data set. And when they log into the tool, they're only going to have visibility to what you've allocated to them. So they're not getting the keys to the castle, they're just getting the keys to the one room that they only need to get to. So micro-segmentation as well. And it's really packaged in a really nice, tightly uniform tool set. We do not rely on any Windows operating system or any SQL databases. Everything is secure in the sense that we're a Rocky-based Linux image. And ultimately, we can, no matter what, we pretty much recover your data. We've yet to have been compromised, and we're pretty proud of that. So I think we're at a time limit here.